Welcome to the Not Superheroes Just Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be presents for our kids, and come back generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I am Sean Laurie. I hope you guys are doing great today. Before we start, guys, remember to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I appreciate the support, like always. Today, guys, I have an amazing guest for you guys. I actually came across from his social media because he does motivational speaking and shoot, I came across his Clap It Up Mondays that he does, and he's always showing up. Every time I always see him showing up, and so it's been on my mind for a while to finally connect with this man, Gary Brown. How you doing today, my guy?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm honored that you reached out first and foremost um, to be on your podcast. So I'm honored every time someone asks me to do something like this because for me, that's a blessing to me. So
Yeah,
I definitely gonna hold no bars, uncover sheets because
yeah,
I want people to know what fathers go through, the good
yeah,
side and the bad side. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. And so, what I like to do is an icebreaker. So, since you do motivational speaking, what is something that it happens to us all with as parents? But what is something you told your kids, and then maybe a week later, the next day, or a month later, they hear that same thing from someone else, and then they want to implement it, and you're like, I've been telling you that for I don't know how long.
Oh man. Attitude, man. Attitude.
Mm,
Attitude. That's one of the biggest things is attitude.
yeah.
Because I tell my 15-year-old, attitude means a lot. It goes a long way. And when you act a certain way, when you be a certain way, and attitude relates to being respectful or disrespectful, right? So when you being disrespectful, you get a perception of
Mm,
yourself. So as a sophomore in high school, and if you have a perception that, hey, this child is a troublemaker and I know you're not, that follows you, then you have people do not want to be around you. So when I tell that to one of my daughters, because that's what she has. She has an
mm.
attitude problem.
Yeah.
So she don't want to listen to me, but when someone else listens, like her grandmother tell her, or shockingly her friends tell her, you know what I mean? It it
Yeah.
it it resonates. So
Yeah.
so I always preach to her. I said, you're not dumb. You're not stupid. It's
Yeah.
a choice on how you act and why you act like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the main things, bro.
No, I believe it, man. This is I know I think you told me you have all girls, but yes, a different dynamic with girls and because at a certain age too, they got to kind of figure it out with certain things as well, right? And so that actually goes into what I want to talk about today, man. And that's the difference between it's a hard balance at times when it comes to empowering versus rescuing,
Come on.
um, when it comes to our kids, right? And so
Yes,
I
yes,
want
sir.
to ask, huh? What you say, bro?
I said, yes, sir. I'm with you.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, man, as you having three daughters, have you faced situations, which I'm sure you have, but if you don't mind sharing, maybe one or two situations where you had to kind of hold back from rescuing your kids, which is hard, right? Especially when you have girls, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to protect them. We want to make sure they're good. We know how things are. We know how guys work, right? So it's one of those things where it gets tricky. So how have you like faced situations where you had to kind of hold back or kind of scale back a little bit and just kind of observe and let certain things happen before they happen?
Man, that's shoot, man. Which which topic do you want, bro? Because let me start off by saying this, because I was the parent that always stand in front of my children so they won't feel the blunt of it. And when I mean the blunt of it, is where, a child can be so disrespectful, man,
Yeah.
right? Um, and being a father that co-parent, being a father that co-parent is two different structures of raising, right? So me raising girls, my stepdaughter is with me, right? Live under the
Mm-hmm.
roof with me and my wife, but my other two girls is in another household. So
Mm-hmm.
me as a parent, I try to save my child as far as, hey, don't do that. Like give her that because I let me talk to her whatsoever, right? But when I start scaling back is when you do the saving and the child still be disrespectful to you.
Yeah.
How they talk to you, how they treat you, don't want to come spend time with your father, right? So it's like when you get in trouble in school, I'm always there, right? Or I'm always showing up because as a parent, I believe 100% you show up every single time. I
Yeah.
told my child I won't get tired. Trust me.
Mm,
To Kevin Gates, I don't get tired. I won't get tired. You know what I mean? But a situation where she got in trouble in school and me and her mom came up to the school. It was a situation involving a little girl that her age at a lunch line, right?
yeah.
So, long story short, man, I was talking to her. Well, the assistant principal was talking to me and her mom, saying they was in line, and the little girl looked at her wrong.
Mm,
What? Looked at her wrong and said something, and my daughter went up into her, and to be very honest, started spazzing out.
yeah.
So, and he was explaining to me that even when a teacher that knows her, my child, pulled her in a hallway where no one was at, pulled her in the classroom, and she's still acting crazy.
Mm,
So when I got there, I'm listening to this. She comes in the office. She didn't call me. She called her mom, and her mom called me. So when she walked up in the office, she seen I was sitting right there. Eyes got big. I did. Usually, I go off the deep end, right?
yeah.
But this generation, you have to approach these generations different.
Yeah.
Um, so I came to her calmly after I heard everything, and I said, "Okay, let's go outside and talk in front of the school in the parking lot." So basically, I told her, "You're gonna have to feel this. You're gonna have to because usually I go talk to the principal and say, nah, she's good, let her do." I said, nah, you really have to feel this because what this gentleman has told me is that you did something and you are incriminating yourself. And
Mm,
what you did was you got mad because she looked at you. And I said, let me play this back for you. You ain't getting your food. You got upset because she looked at you. You spazzed out. A teacher that got your back pulled you away, and you still saying, I'm going to get to her. I
mm,
got to get to her. So what what you did, Madison, you verbally threatened someone. They don't play with that in school no more.
yeah.
You, you know what you did is you still acting up, screaming at you, screaming, cussing, and look at us now. I said you going home, and she's back in that classroom laughing at you. So you tell me who the one looks stupid.
Mm,
So I said you have to feel this, And what you feeling this? I said, you must have forgot we had this conversation 2 weeks. That's why I was so, before this happened, we had a conversation about what happened. So I said, you
Mhm.
have to feel this. And don't forget, I told you, if I got to come to the school, whatever you do, oh yeah, that phone is mine. I
Yeah.
pay for that. I pay for that. What you mean? Yeah. Yeah, it's mine. It's mine. That for real. Yeah. No electronics neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told her, to be honest, I said, I'm not mad what happened because you always had to defend yourself, right? I'm mad it's the after effect. You kept going.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. That's
Yeah.
one, but I have a story for each girl, bro. I'm like,
Me too. I got some for each of so then how do you like why do you because like you said you normally would maybe try to talk to the teacher or the principal or whatever, smooth things over, right? You want to make sure everything's good. Why do
mm-hmm,
you think it's so hard for us as dads to step back and not jump in and solve every problem for their kids? Because I know for me, like that's something I'm trying to do better with as well, right? And there's certain things I see, and then I'm like, okay, I just gotta kind of let things play out because at the end of the day, like don't matter. Our kids are gonna listen to their friends or whoever, right? They're not gonna
right,
like it doesn't really matter a lot of times. It's not until afterwards. Like I'll get on my son. I work with him with basketball. I'll get on him with certain things, but he won't listen until another coach tells him, right? So it's just
mm,
like different things like that. Um, and like I said, I know it's hard, especially with daughters, right? Because we
mm-hmm.
want to protect them because we just know
What's
we
out there?
know how the world will value the women
Mm-hmm.
if we're not careful, right? That's why I think it's so
Correct,
important for
correct,
fathers to be so involved in their daughters. I mean, all our kids' lives, but especially with the daughters,
correct,
because so many times I knew so many dudes that took advantage of women because they didn't have fathers, right? So
correct.
they didn't know. So they're like, oh, okay, I can manipulate this situation, that. So why do you think though, and maybe I already answered, I don't know, but why do you think it's so hard uh, for us as fathers to step back and not jump in and to solve every problem for our kids?
Because we've been there and done that. We
Mm,
see it, and us as parents and fathers, right?
yeah,
We pray for our children to see the outcome of things. We pray
yeah,
for change, right? We
yeah,
pray for these things. I know I get on my knees every single day and pray for my daughters, right?
yeah,
But the thing about what God does, and that's why I said I'll explain it to you, man, and I think this is so profound. What God does is he would say, look, we pray about our daughters changing or our sons changing, but they keep doing the exact same dumb stuff, right?
yeah,
Because we keep jumping in front of everything and try to save them from everything. And Jerry, God saying, Sean, you have prayed for me. You have prayed for this kid to change, but you keep taking it for them. I'm letting it happen to your children to show them
mhm,
it's going to be consequences, and this is going to change them for the better. But Sean, what you keep doing is you keep jumping in front of him or her, Jerry, or your girls, and stopping them from letting them feel what I have for them.
yeah,
So so that what makes it hard because we never want to see our child suffer.
mm,
You, you know, but if
yeah,
we keep doing that, right? And if we keep on doing that, then they're never gonna learn. Because we
true.
are brought on this earth. You say you have four?
Yeah, I have four kids.
I have three. So us as parents, you and me, we was gifted our children to guide them to the best of our ability, right? They don't
Yeah,
they don't have to like us. They don't.
yeah,
But it's our responsibilities to guide them, to show them what's right from wrong. And if they mess up, us as humans, like we said, we've been doing. Yeah, we're gonna jump in the way or try to resolve things because we see it coming because we have experienced that and been through that. So we don't want them to feel that. Then I'm gonna say we selfish because they
Yeah.
have to feel it. They have to know because I already done told you. So I'm gonna let you feel it because
Yeah.
now I'm being selfish, trying to save a person, almost like like the rapper. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that's true because you have to let them feel or see whatever got going on. And like my mother said, they gonna realize sooner
Yeah.
or later, dad was right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we always gonna be there. We're never gonna let them astray. Like I told my child literally last night, whatever you got going on, I'm willing because what men mess up, and you can do this. You can say this for like your children or even your spouse.
Yeah.
We always thinking about solutions.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always thinking about solutions. If you give us something, okay, boom, this is what we're going to do to get this result, right? And sometimes what we have to do is don't come up with a solution right off back.
Mm.
Because sometimes when your son or your children come bring you something, Sean, even me, right? We want to jump to like, okay, this is what we got to do. But sometimes, bro, we just have to be there and sit there with them. We have to sit in the fire with them. We have to sit in
Yeah.
that rain with them. Let them know, hey, I'm here with you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're gonna feel this together. We're gonna take this on together, so they know, hey, my dad is here with me. Not
Yeah.
coming up with a solution. I'm feeling the same thing you feel because you are my son, you are my daughter, so I'm here. Then when it's time, boom, okay, this is what we're gonna do. But right now, let's just sit here.
No, I
That makes
like that.
sense?
No, no, that makes sense, bro. Like, cause I was thinking about for me. I know it's hard because it sucks, right? When you're young, you don't realize or appreciate or even care about certain knowledge that you're getting, right? It's more so like, you know what? I'm focused on going out with my friends. I'm focused on this show. I'm focused on, this spouse. I'm focused on this job, whatever it is, right? And now, don't get me wrong. As adults, there's still plenty of adults that still are focused on things that when they could be taking advantage of other situations, right? But as at least for me, I can speak for me. There's certain things, and I feel like I was ahead of my time because I hung out with a lot of people that were older than me. So I
Right.
figured like I was very ahead with certain things in the way I thought. But there's still things I missed, right? And so
Hmm.
I think that's what gets difficult for us, especially as fathers, where it's like, I have so much knowledge I want to give you, but you don't want to take advantage of it, or you're not even trying to ask for it, right? But like you said, we have to kind of let them uh I don't even want to say fail, but just have some missteps, and then
Hmm.
hey, if they need help, let them know that hey, we're right here. So I want to ask you like what are because right there is we can at times or shoot, there's fathers out there I'm sure that do it, don't meaning to, but they're trying to always protect their child. So in what ways can overprotecting you think actually can either harm a child's growth, like stun it, or even
Hmm.
maybe kind of affect their confidence in a negative way?
Oh, failure, man.
Mm,
Failure. You have to let them fail.
mm,
You have to. And the reason why I say that is, and some may disagree with me, but
yeah,
the reason why I say let them fail is because once they get older, we done shield our children for so long, keep them from experiencing this. No, you're not gonna go there. Or no, you can't hang out with this friend. No, you can't go to the mall by yourself.
yeah,
Whatever that is, right? You
yeah,
have
yeah,
to let them fail because once they get older and they by themselves, right? And they experience heartbreak. They experience getting cut from a basketball team. They experience not getting that job, right? They're experiencing all these things that we have covered them. All these things that we have covered them, then they're gonna have more resentment towards you because they're gonna be like, Dad, you covered me for so long, so now I'm out here by myself. I don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And now they coming back home, which my home is always gonna be open for my children,
Yeah.
but at the same time, most of the time, what I see is why they fail is because it's stuff they never experienced and something they never, ever, ever came across of because we have jumped in the way or we kept them from that.
Yeah.
You're always going to hear me, that's selfish of us because we always say, hey, I don't want my child grow up like I did. They're not. They're not growing up like you did because you are in their life. You didn't have your dad in your life, but you are in their life. So you
Yeah.
keeping them and you shielding them because of fear, right?
Mm.
Because of fear. In the Bible, uh, it's 300. Miss Strado, it's 365 days in a year, right?
Yeah.
365 days. 365 times in the Bible, God said, do not fear. I am
Mm.
with you 365 days. So he already knew every day is going to be a fight. So you have to allow them to fail and don't fear how they fail. Because at the end of the day, God got you, man. He said, do not worry, don't cast all worries. You have three powerful spirits that I give you. Love, power, and self-control. You can control yourself from holding back and not jumping and saving your children. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guide them. Guide them. Tell them to focus up and guide them. Will you mess up? Absolutely. But I'm going to be there. I'm not going to allow you to just tank, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to allow you to fail and let you sit in it until you come and say, hey, Dad, how do I get out of it? So now let me show. I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me show you. So now
Mm.
when the next time you get in a situation like this, you know how to deal with it.
Mm, I like that. So,
Mm.
so you made me think of something right now too, because um, when you said like, you know what, you're not dealing with, or it's one of those, hey, I don't want my child to grow up the way that I did, right? And
Right.
so I was thinking in that sense, a lot of times in that we're when we do those things, we're projecting, right? We're
Come
projecting
on.
because it's one of those things. Maybe we didn't heal from certain things, or we
Come on.
dealt with certain things, but we haven't got over it, or So I was thinking like, right, it's I remember I used to know this dude that would always say like, man, because he had girls and he used to treat girls dirty all the time. So he was like, man, my goal is to make sure my daughter's never on the pole, right? And so that was his saying,
Right.
but like that's what type of women he dealt with as well, right?
Come on.
And so in that, right, so how do you make sure you're not operating in that fear of, this is the type of women I was dealing with. Like I'm thinking, especially I'm more so focused on the girls because I know you have daughters. So
Right.
like just like, oh man, you know what, I don't want my daughter to have 5 baby daddies. I don't want my daughter having a OnlyFans page now, right? Like all these different things that as fathers we're all worried about and concerned about. Some of this is just new, and then some of this is because, like I said, I feel like it might be projecting because it's like, man, I did all these women dirty, and I don't want my daughter to get done dirty.
Correct.
So how do you do that?
I never hide nothing from my children, man. I never hide nothing from them. I tell them the truth. I be open and honest with them. Um, because at the end of the day, like I said, this generation, it really don't matter what we say, right? They can find it on the internet. They can find it on TikTok. They can find it on Instagram, Facebook, right? So they can see that. So when they bring something in, I always try to keep an open dialogue with my child, letting them know they can come and talk to me about anything. So that's always going to be back when you have girls. That's always going to be back in your mind, right? So only thing that we can do the best of our ability is just like I said, have a conversation with them about what you see, right? Um, have a conversation with them that everything that you see on social media is not diamonds, right? So when when is that time and when is to keep them off the pole, right? To
Yeah.
be honest, you really can't stop them. You
True.
know, you really can't stop them. Only thing you can do to try to prevent that, right, is I'm old school in heart, right? Some things I took from my mom and my dad, right, as raising, right? You have to know who they friends. You have to know who they hang out with.
Mm,
You have to know them, because
yeah.
in today's time, some I can see parents. Some parents allow, or fathers, even fathers, allowing their children just to go over friends' houses, not knowing their parents from a can of salt, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and you don't know what they deal with, what they do, or whatever. So those influences can affect a girl. It really can, because if I don't know your parents, I don't know how they act, I don't know how they get down, I don't know how they move, I don't know what they do. No, you ain't going over there. You can come over here, be my guest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can come over here. But if I haven't met your mom or your dad, and I don't know how they move, no, because I know if my child go over there, it's the influences. You have to see they kids wants to be liked. The social media got them like that. It's programming, right? So they want to be liked, they want to be seen, they want to fit in. But I always say, hey, bitch, don't be a follower. Your dad ain't a follower. Your dad a trendsetter. So I'll be like, hey, no, you don't have to go that way. And I think I'm getting off topic, but this came in my mind, and thank you. Is I had a talk with my child before I took her home one day.
Hmm.
We set out in front of in front of my driveway on my car, in front of my car. I asked her to look around. I said, look around you. I said, the difference between a man and a woman. Our power, men. I was talking to her like as men power. Our power is self control. And I told her what I mean by self control is what makes a man powerful is in the midst of chaos, in the midst of whatever going on. If you see a man that is calm and not raising his voice and looking at you with a stern look, hey, be scared. Be scared, because he's not allowing a situation or emotion dictate his actions.
Mm,
But a woman, what scares people What scares people about a woman is their intelligence. Once you find a woman that is intelligent, that's scary, because now you can't get nothing over her, because she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. She's so in tune with herself that you cannot get nothing over her. That's what makes a bad chick. If that's something you want, and you always say you eat in and you want to look this way, have something between your ears. Think. Be intelligent. Be intelligent. That's what makes a woman so much powerful. And that's what I preach in all my girls. All my girls are smart. All my girls are very, very smart. Book smart and street smart. Probably two of them street smart. One is very book smart. But I tell them that, man, because you just like you said, we are men. We know what they do to try to get over on my girls. So I tell them, think, think. You know what to do. I tell her all the time, like I'm beating the dead bush, and I come to find out, I don't mean it doesn't matter how many times you have to tell your child, you said, "Man, I'm beating the dead horse," but they hear you. They hear you when something went wrong, when something go wrong. They hear you. You know what I mean? So I try to do that and be very stern with my girls, man, and allow them to experience failure and just say, "Hey, I'm always gonna be here, but
Yeah.
hey, you know you did the crime. Hey, you gonna have to take that. You gonna have to." Mhm.
Yeah. I like that. So what are I got two more questions for you. So this one is what are what are some I guess some ways you helped your girls build resilience and be able to be better at problem solving? Like what skill, like the skill to have that, right? So what have you either implemented or showed them, or how did you kind of help them with that to build that resilience? Because life is obviously it's never easy, right? Life's always
Yeah,
going to have some type of roller coaster. Don't
right, right.
matter what your background is, no matter how much money your family has, it's always going to have some ups and downs. So like, what is some strategies, I guess, that you or some ways that you helped your kids build resilience and be able to be better at problem solving?
Um, I'm gonna keep it simple, man. Just cleaning the house.
Mm,
You know, because I'm the parent that don't let nothing go. I'm the dad. Mom, she let it slide.
yeah,
Nah, nah, I'm not letting it slide. You know what I mean? So, so simple as, hey, you have a job of putting up the dishes, right? Putting up the
yeah,
dishes. You you come home. We call them latchkey kids, right? So you come home, you do your work, and you're on your phone on your bed. Okay. Hey, how many times you walk past us a day? Okay. How many times? Oh, two. Okay. 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 So put your cell phone right here for me.
mm,
Okay. What? Yeah. How many times you walk past the dishwasher without
mm,
unloading? Okay. That's how many times. That's how long you're gonna not have your phone.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
yeah,
That's how long you're not gonna have your phone. Which yeah. You know your job. You've seen it. You wash the dishes, you cook, you mess up, you wash. Only thing your job is just to put the dishes up. Okay? So why that haven't been done? Okay? My other girl, you know, first year trying out for basketball. Coach came her mom picked her up and we went to Wegmans, the grocery store. I said, Reagan, how was practice? Her mom was like, I said, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So I said, Reagan, what happened? Crying. You know what I mean? I said, what
mm,
he got on me, he couldn't say my name, he called me out in front of the team.
mm,
I said, okay. Why he call you out? Because I was running and I didn't make it and I was just really struggling. Okay. So let's walk let me walk you through this. Okay. Is there any lie in what he said? No. Okay. Did he
mm,
did he disrespect you? No. Okay. So what he said to you was valid. Yeah. Okay then. So I say that to say this, Ray. I always call my girls honey. I say that to say this, honey. So this is your first year in playing sports. That ain't nothing. You have to cover tough skin because if there's any truth in what he's saying, and you know that he is doing, you are this, then fix it.
mm,
Then fix it. I'm not gonna. I sort of. You have to fix it. Go tomorrow. You have to fix whatever he say you is because he said, was you behind? Was you the last one? Yeah. So don't be last no more.
Mm.
How you fix it? I told you. If this is something you want to do, you just cannot just go to practice and think you're going to be all right. You have to do stuff outside of practice when no one watching. When it comes to the dark, you have to do that to become better at your craft, B. And that's what it is. So I talked to her in the grocery store. I said, "Now wipe off your tears. You're stronger than that. You
Mm.
know what to do. You know how to
Mm.
take it." Now, when she go to practice, it's different. It's
Yeah.
it's that beast mode. It's that dog
Mm.
in her. You
Yeah.
been had that. Go
Mm.
show them. Go
Yeah.
show them why you here. That's how you win. That's how you win. So, and that's with even with my oldest girl, I call her can't get right because she can't get right. but but I share it with her because she's going through a real situation right now.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, hey, this is the stuff you don't have to do. And I always play it out for him. I said, and I talked to him just like I was talking to him. So let me play this out for you. So you do X, you do Y. Okay, you say you're gonna do this. Does that make any sense to you? But
Mm.
yeah, I know. I know what he did. I know what she did. But put the shoes on the other foot. Let's just say that. How would you feel in that
Mm.
situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How would you take it? How was
Mm.
that tone of voice? Would you be? I know you. You would act totally different. I know you will. So how? And I make examples. It's like texting somebody and they personally reading it, but you didn't mean it like that. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So you have to. I build that resilience in my children to having a strict conversation because if they want to be this certain type of way, I treat them like them my girls, but I talk to them like adults. If you want to build this type of level and do this type of game, I'm gonna give you the game how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I build resilience,
I like that.
resilience in my children, man. It's just,
Yeah.
and that goes back to allow them to feel it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow you to cry. I'm not gonna allow you. I'm gonna hear you out.
Mm.
We gonna like I told you, we gonna everything. It's a method to all my madness, and
Yeah.
this is and this is not and this is something that I have to train myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a method to my madness. So that's why it's always conversation. That's always I'm showing calmness. I'm always saying I'm not gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna let you sit there and feel it with you. I'm gonna feel it with you. Then I say, okay, let's talk this thing out,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, let's
I like
let's let's take the proper steps to do what we need to do to get to this point here, to get to this point here. How we get to there? Because you're not gonna walk a straight line. That's
Yeah.
that's impossible. So it's gonna be it's a road that is gonna be hard for you to get to this point. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be jagged. So I tell them use whatever pain that you are going through at that certain time. You're already in it. So let's get a reward from it. Use it to get a reward from it. Don't allow it to cripple you. Don't be that alligator that when it eats, it gets full. And that's why you see them sunbathing on a rock because that's the easiest time you can kill an alligator because they already done ate and they chilling they chilling on the rock getting their sun. Don't
Yeah.
be that. Don't be that. Stay hungry.
I like too what you because it sounds like also like obviously you holding them accountable, right? And then not only you holding them accountable, but then you're like, okay, hey, this is going to be the consequences when you don't do whatever it is, right? It could be something simple as washing dishes, but
Mhm.
then you're running down certain things that they did. Okay, hey, So the coach got on you for, not hustling or whatever it was. Okay, how do you feel about that, right? So you're having them say it out loud. You're having them also hear it and then have to reflect, right? So then they reflect is like, okay, you didn't like that situation. How can you solve that, right? Where you're not
Come
giving
on.
them the answer necessarily. You might give them a couple of nuggets here and there, but then they have to figure it out. So that's dope, bro. Where I mean, you're putting it all in one where they're forced to really be like, dang, okay, how did I get to this point, right? How did I get to this situation? So I love that, bro. And I wanted to ask you too, but before we get ready to close out, man, is just how have you seen your kids grow by allowing them to own certain challenges, right?
Mhm.
Like, well, you already kind of gave it, I guess, somewhat of a success story with your daughter doing the now she's on beast mode with the basketball, but
Yes, she
just
is.
I
Yeah.
guess what have you seen, from your kids, just being able to handle, obviously certain challenges are harder than others, but how have you seen that when you reflect?
Man, I get man, you don't bring tears to my eyes, bro. I'm a Cancer
Okay.
because I'm emotional.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional
Yeah.
person. But
Hey, one of
man,
my close friends, same way.
yeah, I'm a Cancer, man. And what, man, it's worthy for me, man, to when I see when they get it. You, you
Mhm.
know, um, Reagan, just last week, I just told you a scenario of she's crying because the coach got on her and called her out in front of everybody. Then yesterday, she in tryouts saying, telling another girl to, now you got this. Run with
Mhm.
me. My legs are dog tired, but we can make it. Man, that brings so much to me. My that's Reagan. My other child, Madison, to see her get into certain arguments and say, Dad, I remember what you said.
Mhm.
And I didn't act out. I didn't act out. I used my head, before I did something, you would have been proud of me. And I always tell them, I'm always gonna be proud of you no matter what. But that I don't tell them that, but I'm saying, man, that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? And my oldest girl, because she's on a right path to be where I want her to be, but it's certain things that happens that get her distracted. But with her, man, and now she finally got her own place. It's still some struggles, and she's at her mom's house. It's still some struggles, but that's a win for me.
Yeah.
And I always say, look, stop swinging from the fence. Let's get on first base, okay? Let's make a run and get on second. We might steal third, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay to keep swinging. It's okay to do that, but let's get those small wins, and those small wins that they can't see, I see them as a father because they still at the age right now is they can't see that, man. And I hope I'm answering your question, bro.
Yeah.
Uh, but man, those type of things when your child calls you and say, "Hey, hey, I got a new job, my oldest girl. You'll be proud of me. It's a real job now. You know, um, hearing Ray talk about, hearing her talk about practice, and she excited, and hey, your win is up because she got asthma too, so her win is up, and she run with me, run with me. You know what I'm saying? We can that does something to me, man. And
Yeah.
and my daughter, man, and my daughter Madison, where she's just uh uh growing into herself, being more confident. It's just we still gotta work on that attitude because she has a vibrant personality. So she's one of those types that she's gonna let you know how she feels
Yeah.
with no sugar on it. You feel me? With
Yeah.
no chaser. She gonna let. And I'm trying to guide her in a way is you don't have to say it all to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in the door, especially in a t-shirt, right? So that's coming good. So it always go back to, you know, just prayer, man. Prayer is one of the most powerful things to have in our repertoire, right? Because one of the biggest things, and you're gonna always hear me preach about God, man, because God got me through so many situations. And I can go on, this can be another episode when I was homeless, you know,
Mhm.
when I had Madison, you know. So it's it's so many things, and God answered all prayers, bro. And one of the biggest things that a lot of us struggles on, right? Man and woman, is how do I hear God?
Mm.
How do I hear him? Right? And my good friend Madison, I think Madison is, and it's crazy, but I'm not my daughter named Madison, but I'm talking about another Madison that I met in church. And I think he's God sent, man. And because every big situation, he always calls my phone every single time. I don't reach out to him. I don't speak to him every day. I don't speak to him every week. But every time a situation, a circumstance happened in my life, he calls it. My phone ringing is him.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right? So what I learned from him is how to hear God, and you know that's God's voice. It's because it's when God's speaking to you, it's a trade off with him. It's a trade off with him. And what I mean by a trade off is for the people that's listening, I'm helping you. I'm in my bag now as a motivational speaker. It's always going to be an uncomfortable feeling,
Yeah.
an uncomfortable feeling, because when you pray about something and you want God to move in your favor, he's he's gonna make that situation or make you uncomfortable.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the reason why he does that is because he has to build you up to get to what you want, right?
Yeah.
So it never, remember what I said, it's never fear, right?
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. So he's going to not, you're not going to be fear while you're doing it. You're going to be uncomfortable while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And the devil is a great manipulator. He can sound like God, look like God. He can do all the facets of it, right? But one thing he can't imitate is your feeling. Because when devil is talking to you, because you prayed for something, because he hears you too, right? It is you're anxious about it. You're scared about it. You're afraid to do it. You're questioning yourself to do it. That's when you know the devil is playing with you. That's when you know the devil is behind that, because you're afraid to do it. When God tell you to do something, you're gonna do it
Yeah.
without fear. You just go, let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable. Yes, I know I got to run 8 laps in 30 seconds, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to feel uncomfortable doing it, but I'm going to do it. Man, I'm training for this thing. I'm going to do this, and I know my name. I'm afraid to do it. Nah, you already know. Because when you doing something you on the devil's playing, just know it's a repercussion behind it. Something you're not gonna like down the road. It's
Yeah.
unforeseen.
Mm.
So, man, that's why I say you gotta, when it comes to children and you don't prayed about something, it's gonna be an uncomfortable feeling
Yeah.
between me and you, fathers,
Yeah.
right? But we're not gonna be scared to allow
No.
them to fail and experience all that what they have to feel to able for them to grow. That makes sense. I hope it makes sense.
No, that makes sense, bro. That makes sense for sure, man. I'll before well, one, I want to say thank you, for your time, man. Thank you for, hopping on, man, and like I said, I've been watching from afar, and it's just dope to finally have you on, and your daughters is definitely blessed and fortunate, man, to have an amazing man, an amazing father, So keep doing that, man. Keep being the example, bro, and matter of fact, plug in some of the stuff, man, where they can follow you, where they can, check
Yeah,
you out.
absolutely, man. On Facebook, Jerry Brown with the Jerry, Brown like the color, BROWN. Instagram, JB underscore the boss 336. Or you just put in my name, Jerry Brown, man. You can find me there. Uh, Motivational speaker podcast dropping next month. Uh,
So,
Stay tuned for that. Have my own merch. So I'm a big fan of fashion. So I always love fashion. And my mentors, we always look for our mentors, like your famous mentors on TV and everything. But your mentors is literally right around you.
mm,
Your mentors is them people that you can touch, people that
yeah,
been in your circle. Those are your mentors, right? So, man, watch out for that, man. So that's where you can find me,
all right.
Sean. Man, I can. This was a great. It was an honor and a privilege for me to be on your podcast. And just thank you so much for even just thinking about me. I
Nah,
appreciate
man.
that, man.
No, I appreciate it, bro. And definitely, we all gonna be in the lookout for the podcast as well, man, as you coming with that. And I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get your information so I can put the merch link and all that stuff as well, y'all. So it'll be on the YouTube, it'll be on the information on the podcast as well. So if you guys definitely want to go and definitely support, click the link. You should be able to get some of his merch and check some of the great things he's doing, man. And so I love it, man. And yeah, guys, like always, remember, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.